Listener, are you ready? Because today we are diving headfirst into some seriously creepy stuff. We're talking about the Hive, those things in Destiny that make your ghost want to hide.
Oh yeah, we're going deep. Deeper than the loot cave ever went. We're talking about the Books of Sorrow, baby.
The what now?
The Books of Sorrow. It's like their diary, but 1,000 times worse, and trust me, you don't want to be on those pages.
Okay, unsettling imagery aside, where do we even start? I mean, these guys are like the ultimate bad guys, right?
You'd think so, but get this. They weren't always giant evil space bugs. Imagine instead, like, these little shrimp things. Yeah, shrimp. Crawling around on a planet that's basically falling apart.
Sounds rough.
Oh, it gets worse. Way worse. The planet's called Fundament, and it's got storms that could melt steel, monsters bigger than your ship, and every so often, this giant wave comes crashing through, wiping everything out.
So how did they go from bottom feeders to, well, the Hive?
3 sisters, that's the short answer. Aurash, Shiro, and Sathona.
Those names give me chills, and I face down Atheon. What made these sisters so special?
Each one, they had this hunger. Aurash wanted knowledge, like, desperately. Shiro, revenge. And Sathona, power. The kind of power you don't ask for, you take.
Sounds like a recipe for disaster.
Add in a dash of cosmic horror, and you're getting warmer. You see, deep down on Fundament, in this place called the Deep, there were these things. They called them worms.
Worms. Yeah, I've seen them. Not exactly the cuddly kind, more like runaway screaming kind. What do these worms have to offer? Immortality, even more power.
Ding, 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 we have a winner. Immortality, power, the works. Sounds pretty good when your planet's falling apart, right?
Sign me up. What's the catch?
Only a tiny little detail. The worms, they're hungry. Like all the time. And the stronger you get, the hungrier they get.
So it's like a cosmic buffet, but you're the main course?
Exactly. And that's where the sword logic comes in. This messed up philosophy that basically says, might makes right. The strong survive, the weak get eaten. Literally.
Survival of the fittest, but with a side of existential dread. And a whole lot of killing.
You got it. Every planet they destroy, every civilization they wipe out, it's all about feeding their worm gods and proving they're strong enough to exist.
Talk about a bad case of survivor's guilt. So what happens next? This Aurash, she makes a deal with the worms.
Yeah, she does. And let me tell you, it ain't pretty. Let's just say she doesn't stay Aurash for long. She becomes, well, something else, something way more powerful and way more terrifying.
Oryx, right.
Bingo. Or, as we know him later, Oryx, the Taken King. Yeah, not exactly the friendliest name in the universe.
Nope, not at all. But, okay, hold on. I get that the worms are bad news, but they also give the Hive immortality, right?
Yeah.
Why would Oryx risk messing with that?
Because, see, that's the thing about power. It always comes with a price. And in the Hive's case, the price is never-ending hunger. Theirs, and those worms they're stuck with.
So it's not just about surviving anymore. It's about who gets to exist at all.
Exactly. The Books of Sorrow, they talk about this cosmic battle between the sky and the deep. Imagine, like, the traveler is the sky, all light and creation. And the deep, that's like this endless void trying to swallow everything up.
Sounds cheerful.
Oh, get the worse. The Hive, they're stuck right in the middle of this tug of war. They believe that to exist, to truly matter, you have to fight, to consume, to become strong enough to resist the pull of the deep.
But the more they conquer, the stronger their worms get and the hungrier they get. Right? It's like a self-destruct button they can't stop pushing.
You're getting it. It's a vicious cycle. And it all leads to Oryx's big move, the Taken. Have you heard of those?
Oh, yeah. Once you see a Taken knight, you don't forget it. All twisted and corrupted, like someone hit the shuffle button on their DNA.
That's Oryx for you. He wasn't content with just conquering. He wanted to control light itself, to twist it, to break it, to make it his own.
And that's where the Taken come from. He just snaps his fingers and bam! Instant army of nightmare fuel.
Not quite. See, deep down, Oryx was afraid. Even with all that power, he knew the worms could consume him. So he did something insane. He went after his own worm.
Wait, he picked a fight with a god. His own god? What was he thinking?
Survival. Desperation. Call it what you want, but he went for it. He actually managed to kill his worm, Akka, absorbed its essence.
And that's how he becomes the Taken King. By killing a god and stealing its power.
That's one way to put it. But that victory, it came at a cost. By destroying Akka, he became something different, more powerful, yeah, but also more connected to the deep than ever before.
So even when he won, he lost. He became the very thing he was trying to escape.
That's the tragedy of Oryx. He was a slave to power, trapped in a game he could never truly win. Even with all that might, He was still dancing to the tune of something ancient, something vast, and something hungry.
Speaking of hungry, he really had it out for the traveler, didn't he?
Oh yeah, the travel. Now there was something Oryx couldn't stand.
It's almost personal, isn't it? This whole traveler thing.
Oh, totally. Remember how we talked about those three sisters, each driven by this deep desire? The worms, they just took those desires and cranked them up to 11.
And for Oryx, that meant going after the biggest prize of all, the traveler itself.
He wanted to prove the traveler was nothing, just another source of power to be consumed. Sword logic 101.
But he never actually pulled it off, did he? The traveler's still out there.
Yep. Always one step ahead. And that just made the Hive more desperate, more dangerous, like a dog chasing a car it could never catch.
But what's crazy is, even with all that power, the Books of Sorrow make it sound like Oryx was still afraid.
Yeah. Deep down, he knew he might not be able to control the very forces he'd unleashed. Imagine having that much power, being able to reshape reality, but still looking over your shoulder,
Like a cosmic horror movie. You'd think a being that can conquer death wouldn't have any fears left.
And that's what makes the Books of Sorrow so fascinating. They give us a glimpse behind the curtain. These aren't just monsters or beings driven by fear, just like us.
So after all that, after diving into the Hive's twisted family drama, what does it all mean for us? We're guardians, right? Fighting to protect the last city. What can we learn from all this darkness?
Knowledge is power, right? And the Books of Sorrow, as messed up as they are, they give us that knowledge. They show us the Hive's weaknesses, their doubts, their fears.
So it's not enough to just shoot at the darkness. We have to understand it.
Exactly. The Hive, they're not just monsters to be slain. They're a force of nature, a cosmic horror we have to learn to navigate.
And that's why we have experts like you to help us make sense of it all.
Someone's got to do it.
Well, listeners, there you have it. A glimpse into the heart of the Hive, their origins, their power, and the terrifying philosophy that drives them. And though Oryx might be gone, the echoes of his reign, well, they're still out there, lurking in the darkness, waiting for their chance to rise again. So stay vigilant out there, Guardians, and keep your eyes peeled for more deep dives into the weird, the wild, and the downright terrifying corners of the Destiny universe.